Okay, it is time for boot camp to commence. Okay, I'm just making sure that I am in the right place, as it is a little bit different with a streaming service and a group on Facebook, as some of you will be aware. So first off, I just want to say there will be a little bit longer lag probably than you are used to. And that is because I'm streaming with something else into this group. So if I don't answer you right away, make sure to ask the question again, or come back and I will answer the question. Don't worry. Okay. See, like I can hear the beeps already and I can't actually see the comments. So they will come. Don't worry. It's just, it gets lagged. Okay. So just let me double check. Everything is going. So I can see nothing. So there we go. So just be aware that that happens. Okay. So I actually have it up over in the corner. So I am Chris, Coach Chris, otherwise known as Chris from Chris's Creative Life. And I get to be the first person to welcome you all to 90-day Scrapbooking Bootcamp, Scrap Your Story. So it's super exciting for me to be first, a little bit nerve-wracking, I'm just going to tell you. So I have notes on a few things that I wanted to just say at the very beginning here. So I get the opportunity to welcome you all from all four of us. So a warm welcome from Rhonda and Ange and Rosemary and me, obviously. So we are super excited that you have all decided to take a little bit of time and join us and maybe have a little bit of fun. So now I can see some of the comments coming up on the side, over on the side of my screen in another window. So if it looks like I'm actually not looking at you, that's why, because it's over here to the side. Okay, so then there's just like I'm going to do just a little bit of like, obviously welcome and kind of get you up to speed for our plans. So there was lots of things, like lots of information posted, etc. So I thought though I might just talk to you for just a few seconds about why we picked 90 days. And I think that there were a few reasons that we picked 90 days. It's a long enough time for everybody to kind of get a little bit of something out of it. We're all really busy, right? And so not everybody's going to be able to do everything or play with all the paper or tell all their stories. But over the course of 90 days, we hope that you will participate in the parts that you have time for, the parts that you enjoy, all of those fun things. So each week, we will start off on Monday. You'll see the challenges from the four of us. So we also wrote our challenges independent of each other. So you might notice that you get the same challenge more than once, and that's okay. And like I said, when I posted the challenges on Monday, they're meant for you. You don't have to do all four. You can do all four. You can do one, you can do two, you can do three. They're just kind of to get you started and thinking about things in a scrapbooking kind of way. Like simple things like make sure to, you might see, for example, as a challenge, make sure to scrapbook a photo of yourself. Those kind of just fun things. And the challenges are literally meant to be fun. So like I said, have a little bit of fun. If you can do one, awesome. If you can do all, awesome. And if you don't have time that week, that's okay too. This morning, I added to the group a guide section. So you will see that now at the top of the group. If you're not familiar with guides, they are something that you can create within a group. And so guide number 1, it just makes things a little bit easier to navigate, as it's not so hard to navigate this group at this point, right? Because we're only at week 1. But by the end of 90 days, the feed on Facebook will be a little bit more congested, because as soon as somebody makes a comment on a video or a post, it actually knocks that up to the top of the discussion feed. So if you're trying to remember, what was that super funny thing Chris said in week number 1 in that video? I want to watch her again. You can just go. It's probably not going to happen. I'm not very like funny, but or not on purpose at least. But if you go to the top of the group and look across it, you will see a guide section, and you can simply click on the guide. And the first week, I set it up as welcome and week 1. So even when we get to week 8, you can still find things from week 1. Like, let's say you wanted to remember what one of the challenges were, you really enjoyed that challenge. You just simply click on the guide section and then the week that you're looking for. It does make it super easy to navigate within a group. Also, make sure to turn on your notifications for the group, because also, we won't get thrown into your feed unless you tell Facebook that you want us there. Okay, and then the last thing is we will be setting up a place where you can post your artwork. So just hold off if you start creating right after me. Just hold off, and we will make an announcement and a place where you guys can post your pages with your photos, your journaling, all of those fun things. If anybody has questions, I can probably answer a few questions before we start. Hopefully I know the answer to them. But like I said, we wanted to do it just so that you can have some fun, right? So there's lots of people that have never scrapbooked before. Hopefully you will find some inspiration to scrapbook something, whatever that might be. Some people have walked away from scrapbooking for a while and are looking for inspiration to get back to scrapbooking. That will happen here too. And then some people have just been scrapbooking all the way along, and they will be posting pages in here too. So just remember, wherever you're starting is perfectly all right. Like I said, and I think I probably said it in my why video, but like, I've been scrapbooking for over 20 years now. So obviously my layouts will look different than some people's. My photo selection might look a little bit different than some people. All good. You can, so I will, because we picked the theme of the on the go suite, and then there's other things added so that we could stretch it a little bit farther. It obviously has a travel theme. So I will be scrapbooking my photographs from a trip last year, and I will tell you the stories as we go, because this was a very entertaining trip. So you will not see on my sample pages my photographs, but I will be adding my photographs to my layouts as I create them today. And I love that everybody's saying where they're joining from, because actually that's one of my favorite things is seeing where everybody's coming from, because literally we're a big, huge globe. So it's always super interesting to see all the places and everybody's friendships and where they started and all of those fun things. So I'm actually not seeing any questions from anybody just yet. So, and just so you know, also, I can't actually scroll the comments too far. I can kind of keep my eye on them as they come up. So that's just what it is. So if I don't answer your question, ask it again. I'm happy to answer it, and I will come back and I'll answer any questions later if I've missed them. all of those fun things. So who is ready to get started? See, like now everybody's starting to say where they're from. Okay, so I also wanted to, I said it, I think, on Tuesday. I don't know if I finished that list. You know what? I didn't. So let's quickly go back there. I got distracted after Monday. So each Monday, the challenges will be posted. And like I said, there are 4 challenges for each week because there are 4 coaches. So we will each post a challenge in that thread. So that's Monday. Tuesday, whoever is the coach of the week, because we will be rotating, and there will be instances where you might not see us in the exact same order because people have certain things or whatever. But typically, we are going in a rotation. So on Tuesday, the coach that will be teaching live that week will post their time for their Thursday live. I should say, and then Thursday will be the live class. I do believe there are a couple of rare occasions where it will be recorded. I just can't exactly remember them right this moment. And thank you to everybody saying hello to me. So, like I said, if you don't know who I am, I posted my why video this week. That was the other thing I wanted to mention too. So in the schedule, the first week that each one of us teach, we will also be posting our why videos because we all recorded a why video. And so that will be posted the week we teach. Okay, so just in case that's clear as mud, we'll go through the schedule one more time. Monday, challenges will be posted. They're from all 4 of us. Participate in 1, 2, 3, 4, or none. Then Tuesday, the coach of the week will be posting their time for the Thursday class, whether that's live or recorded. Wednesday, if it's the first week that coach has taught, they will post their why video. So I do believe, if I remember on the schedule correctly, next week is Rhonda. So on Wednesday of next week, you will see Rhonda's why video. We won't post those every single week when we teach, but we thought that they would be a great way to introduce ourselves to you, etc. And then Thursday will be a live class, or like I said, in a rare occasion, a recorded class. Okay, so if there's not any questions, I'm going to add my desk in, and we can look at what I designed and what I'm teaching today. So we each designed 3 layouts. I am not teaching my layouts in order. So if you have the PDF, I'm going to be teaching my 3rd layout. And I'm going to actually explain to you why. So each of us did 3 layouts, 1, 2, and 3. And you would normally think, she's going to teach them in order. But my first layout is probably a little bit more complicated, and I can add an interactive element to my first layout. And I thought, if I start off with that, I'm going to overwhelm everybody. So I am saving that for my last layout. And when I say interactive element, if that scares you, just know you don't also have to do that. It's just an option. So I think that I'm going actually in reverse order. So I will be teaching my 3rd layout today. And then next time when I go live, I will be teaching my 2nd layout. And then my last one, which I do believe is in May, I will be teaching layout number 1. So I just wanted to let you know that there is actually an order, and we're just going to go in reverse because, I can. Okay. So I'm going to add my desk in and move my layout down. And we'll turn up a little bit more light because it is still like gray here. So you will also see me, I'm up in the corner. And if I'm in the way, let me know. But I'm just so used to teaching with myself actually on the screen that it is very difficult for me not to be on the screen. But I can take myself off if I'm distracting you. Thank you. Okay. Also, kind of when I think the neat thing too is that everybody is going to teach slightly different than each other, and that is literally my favorite part. There are also, like I said, because people will be starting to scrapbook at different levels, at certain points, I'm going to talk to you about why I literally designed things a certain way, or ways that you can maybe change things up to simplify a layout if you want to. Also, when I create, I stand up. So I don't stay seated for very long. So here we go. I'm actually going to make myself a little bit smaller. And just hope that I don't give anybody like seasickness as we go. I have everything like, I have my glass mat over here because if I bring it on camera, it actually, there's so much light that you get like a super bad reflection. But the funny thing is then my mouse, which is right here, does not work on my glass mat. So here we go. So Angela says, yeah, love to see you. It's funny because now that I'm always there, it's actually super hard for me not to do it. I can though. Okay, so the first thing, like I said, this in my layouts is layout number 3 if you're looking for it. I love the color of the collection that we picked. And like I said, I love the theme of travel. Travel is a super fun thing to document if you have not started scrapbooking. And one of the reasons is because a trip kind of has a start, a middle, and an end. And it's not just like a continual forever kind of project. So sometimes when people think about scrapbooking, right, you're thinking, oh my goodness, I have to scrapbook all. I'm not even going to tell you how many photos I actually have. I'm going to make up a number that sounds a little bit better. I'm going to have to scrapbook all 8,000 photographs that I have. I don't have time for that. I'll get bored. A trip is a great way to start because it's only a certain number of photographs. It is an event that happened to you. They are typically enjoyable. I'll tell you over the course of boot camp some funny stories that happened on this trip. Because I'm also going to document them, but I'm not going to journal on camera. I will journal later. But I will tell you the stories as we go. So one thing, and I like the color, but if you guys don't like the color, swap out the pieces of paper. And that is also another reason that like we added in the textured botanicals. That's not the right name. So that there was like a resting place for your eye, a little bit of something to bring in just to calm the colors. You will also notice on this layout in particular, I double matted my photographs. And that I specifically did because sometimes when there's a lot of color in a collection, it can be overwhelming. So the black so yes, I was right, actually, botanical textures and on the go. Okay. So you can see here, right? I've got the colored matte on the outside and then the black on the inside. And when I show you my photographs, you'll see what it does to them too. Okay. So all three of my layouts that I'll scrapbook live with you guys are a trip that I took with my mom and my middle sister. And I'm assuming actually that they will both be on here at some point. My sister is a scrapbooker, so she might end up putting exactly the same photographs on here. And my mom will come and watch just to support me. So I thought, that couldn't be better. So last year in May, the three of us took a trip to London. And so we had lots of adventures. So today, though, on this layout, as I create it, I'm going to add my photographs from when my sister and I went to Stonehenge. And this was like right at the end of our trip. So this is the two of us. It was crazy windy that day. I'm assuming Stonehenge is always windy, but so this is the two of us at Stonehenge. And then when I go to add the other photographs onto the page, I'll tell you, we were silly. We were super tired by that point, but you can see. So, and also I just want to point out, you will always see a white border on my photographs. It's just because, it's the way I've always scrapbooked. So you don't have to do that. You can just have your full photograph. But because that's the way that all my photos are in all of my scrapbooks. See, Rhonda said it was windy when she visited too. That by adding the little bit of black, it kind of softens the color, but the color also then ties the photographs to the layout. So these are the photographs I'm going to add onto my layout today. So when we were planning this trip, it was, we were in London, and my sister, so this is my middle sister, Lorraine, and she's going to love that I'm calling her out on the video, but she will come watch later, and then I'm going to get a text message, but that's okay. She cruises. And so when my mom said to us, I want to take you guys to London, we had like a jam-packed schedule. We had an Excel spreadsheet, and there were 3 events on every single day. So we could jam-pack everything we needed to into the trip. And she phoned me and said, okay, this was when we were still in the Pawnee phase. She said, I know that by the end, Mom's going to be tired, because my mom is also, she was 78 when we went on this trip. So I know Mom's going to be tired, and I'd really like to leave London for at least a day. And so she booked us this crazy, I'm sure most people that go also book exactly the same bus tour. But we went from London, where we had to be like meeting our bus at like some crazy time in the morning, and we're right at the end of our trip, so we're also very tired. Like I think it was way too early in the morning. Then we went to Windsor first, and then we went to Stonehenge, and then Oxford, and it was like 19 hours for this bus trip or something. But so we probably laughed a lot of the time. And it was funny. And actually, when we were up at Stonehenge, I'm not really sure why it happened, but my sister FaceTimed her son and my daughter, and I'm thinking, I don't even know how much this is costing you, but I hope they enjoyed seeing Stonehenge live by them over FaceTime at least. So it was funny. So we laughed and giggled a lot on this trip. And this day in particular, because I'm pretty sure we were very tired, and we left like right after that. And there's a nightmare story that I'll tell eventually, because I might scrapbook some of those photos about getting home. But this was a fun day. Okay, so the other thing I'm going to say is, as I go, I will typically assemble one layout, like one side, and then the other. And if you're reading the PDF instructions, that's also how I do instructions. So, and I will always typically start with the left page and then the right page. Yes, we were super goofy. And, you know, like if you've walked around Stonehenge, we couldn't actually figure out, but you're supposed to do all these funny photographs. And half of them worked for us and half of them didn't. But we still thought we were hilarious. So we took all the photographs. Okay. So here we go. Now, if you've just started scrapbooking also and want to adapt this layout to make it easier for yourself, obviously, like this real estate is 11 inches, right? In the middle of my 12 by 12 scrapbooking page. So if you don't want layers, right, you can also duplicate the same idea by just cutting yourself an 11 by 11 piece of paper. And you'll get the same kind of look, and it's a little bit easier because we don't want to overwhelm anybody, right? So there's always kind of like ways to go from like a simple to step it up to then step it up again. And unfortunately, you guys, you probably got me first, and I'm probably at the like middle to top end for some people. So, but you get to see everything along the way. Just when we were planning and somebody said, who wants to go first? And nobody's put up their hand. I'm like, well, I can go first, but I don't think you guys probably realized what you were getting yourselves into. Okay. So here's some fun things about the paper. So here are our photo mats. These ones on the left. So at certain points too, some things I will assemble with you. Some things I will have pre-assembled. So for example, on the left-hand side page, I'm going to add my mats together and add my photographs on. But when we move to the right-hand side, you've already seen me do it once. You don't need to see me do it again. So I already have matted my photographs. And it'll be the same like each time I teach. Okay. I'll talk about this in a second. Also, if you are following on the PDF, quite often too, I'll have you do like your stamping first. We're actually going to do it like when I get to that part, because that's what I decided today. So we're going to first start by creating my background. And like I said, all you really need is like, for this one, is like a space that's 11.5 inches wide. So I have obviously pre-cut all my pieces, and I'm going to start. You can either start on the inside or the outside and go in order. I am today going to start on the inside. Okay, and for anybody that knows me, I might be a little bit, I can't even think of a nice way to say it at the moment. I like things straight and in the right spot. So this is actually just like a quilting ruler, but you can use a normal ruler. And obviously if it's 11 inches, right, I'm giving myself a 1/2 inch border. And once I get my first piece down, then all my other pieces just kind of go in a row. So here we go. And once we start, it gets much easier. If I have to zoom out my camera, I can to get more in. Okay, so first off, I used the back side of this cute paper. We're gonna use this paper also. I used everything from this collection. I loved it. And of course, my adhesive is gonna give me difficulties today. Don't worry, we've got lots of adhesive, but I knew it was gonna happen. We're all good now, we started. Okay, so right, like I said, that's basically an 11-inch block that I'm creating. So I'm gonna do a 1/2 inch border at the top and at the bottom. Okay, and then literally all I'm doing is I'm gonna work myself across the page, right? So now that I have my first piece down, I can bring this back in so you guys can see as I go. So like I said, the black from the Botanical Textures paper does exactly the same thing that I was doing with my mats, right? So I'm just breaking up all the color every once in a while to calm it down. And I loved this print. Yes, you're going to see me use a ruler a lot in the next 90 days. I also like this print. Okay, so this one was hard for me because I really liked this one. And you'll see when you zoom out in my office, because like my signature colors are like this pink and then like a bluey green. So this was super hard for me to decide every single time I cut this piece of paper as to which side where I was going to use. And that's the other thing too, right? If you want to use the other side of the piece of paper or switch it out for something out of your stash that is a better color. See, I should really pay attention, or I'm going to actually eventually, you guys yell at me if I adhere a piece of paper upside down. It's never happened really on camera before. But this is the wrong piece of paper. It's the one from the other side. Okay, see you guys, my first mistake. What the heck? Okay, well, I'm pulling it out. See, this is when you don't push everything down super hard until it's ready. So just to speed it up, I'm actually going to just cut myself a new piece of paper because I just must have put it in the wrong pile. And we'll come across it. That is funny. Because I actually did think that I laid all my pieces out on top of my original layout. Okay, there we go. See, no problem. Because I'm like, we're not going far enough. The ruler, okay, so it's just a quilting ruler. And it's awesome because you can get down to as small as like 1/8 of an inch. So it just helps line everything up. And you can line it up no matter where it is, right? So for example, oh, this is much better, guys. Okay, so, right, if I needed to start at 6 inches, for example, that's how wide this one is. And there's various different sizes. Literally, you can find them on Amazon. A quilt, like anywhere that you would buy sewing supplies. But so if it was going to my 6-inch mark, right, then there it is. If it was my 3-inch mark, and they go out both ways. So, and this one is 12 inches long, right? So it's exactly the same size as your scrapbooking page. Because like I said, you will soon learn that I like things lined up properly. See, well, at least I didn't put it in the wrong pile and put it on upside down, right? Okay. Whew, there we go. We have the left-hand side base done. Okay. So here we go. There's a sheet of paper. Maybe I'll just grab it. Now that we're pulling papers out, maybe I'll just grab it. That has the fun tags on it. And I used all the tags, I think, in my layouts. And so to get them like this, I'm going to show you, I rough cut them. Like I used the other part of the paper also in my layouts, but I loved the tags because they're a nice size for scrapbooking pages. And, okay, let's just see. I probably actually could have gone through the paper pack before we started, but okay. So see how fun these are. So I did use on my pages some of like the street map, but I used like a lot of these tags. And so when I went to go use them, I just rough cut them out and added them into my piles, right? So you will see. And then there's also a sheet that's got like the journaling boxes. And then on the back side, it's this pretty pink. So don't think necessarily you always have to use it as a journaling box though, right? So this is where my title for my page is going to like be housed, right? So it's going up here. So don't think necessarily that you have to add journaling onto those. And then the other thing is we added an alpha, and it's this alpha, and they're like skinny little letters. So when I cut out my letters, I added the adhesive sheet to the back before I ran them through, and now it's got adhesive on it. I'll tell you, when I did these original pages, I actually used glue, but this is much easier. So you can see here, for example, passport, it's got the adhesive sheet on the back, right? So they just come like this. You pull off the back, you add it to your cardstock, and then when you run it through, it adds the adhesive onto the letters. It's going to make it much easier for us to add our title than having to glue it. But like I said, I did actually glue it the first time. So I'm actually going to adhere down our title space first. Up here. You could also add dimensionals if you would like to pop up your title. I know adhesive sheets are like the bomb. Okay, so I did trim out this tag. I'm just going to lay it in place. But so here are my, this is my other tag for up here. And like I said, I just rough cut it out. And now we're going to trim it out as soon, oh, there. I was going to say as soon. I know. I love adhesive sheets. And yes, it's the same thing, right? I have to remember to use them before. And that's why I had to like literally glue everything down in the beginning. Like the first time when I did it. So I'm just, like I said, I just rough cut them out. And now I'm just like fussy cutting them. But this is like the easiest fussy cutting you're ever going to do because they're like scribbly lines, right? So they don't have to be perfect. That is why I fussy cut in my workshop for this one. Okay. So this one's going over here. We're just going to stop up there for right now. And then see here, here too is one of the big tags, right? And so you can see I still have other pieces on here, so I need to trim this out. And like I said, this is some of the easiest fussy cutting you'll ever do. And I'm just following around my line just with a little bit of a border. And you want to move your paper, not your scissors. You guys are going to hear the same things from me at certain points. Okay, so that tag's going over there. We have, except it's stuck with adhesive to my hands. Okay, we have our letters, right? And then I do have these three little pieces that we're going to fussy cut to in a second. But let's put our journaling our photo mats together and adhere them down. Okay, so like I said at the beginning, I explained why I did double mats. And like I said, double mats are not for everybody. And I actually think this might be the only layout that I did that on. So you decide if you want double mats or not. Okay, the other thing I'm just going to gloss over while we go is I try to normally do like, for sure, an easy to print, right? So 4x6s, right? But you'll also see there are some 4x4s, which is a super easy crop off of a 4x6 photograph, right? There's always something in your photo that you can trim off or cut off, right? Okay, so we have a 4x6 that's going to go right here. Okay, let's move my photos off of here. Okay, so we have a 4x6 going here, a 4x4, and a 4x3. So a 4x3 is really, you can actually put two of them on a 4x6 and print it that way. There's lots of apps you can do it with. Or you can actually do exactly the same thing and just crop stuff out. Because there's always stuff on a photo that you can crop out of your picture. Okay, so these are going to be my goofy photos on this side. So there's me holding up Stonehenge and then me squashing it. Okay, so that one is going up there. And then I have my 4x4 for right here. And I have my two mats. Linda says, I'm new to scrapbooking, finally getting less intimidating. It is like, so I'm assuming that you do another craft if you are not a scrapbooker. And it really, so I'm assuming also, big assumption, but I will assume you could be a card maker. And sometimes the size of 12 by 12 is overwhelming to people, but it's not that bad. And like I said, that's exactly what we're here for, is to inspire you along the way. And there's always a way to make something simpler versus harder also. And I will try and point that out as I go too. So like I said, for this one, just do a big box and don't do all the extra stuff, right? There is always a way. Okay, so this tag we're going to put over here. This is my photograph. Okay, let's start adhering things down. And then we'll fussy cut the little things. And I'm hoping that you guys aren't going to kill me for fussy cutting the little things. But they were just so stinking cute not to use on the layouts. So I've got my box down. And now I'm going to add my first photo. Ta-da! We have a photo on the layout. And now I can add my tag over here-ish. Okay, I'll add my photo. And if you don't want to, just use normal photos. You don't have to use 4x4s or 4x3s. You can always just use normal photographs also. I try and leave like a lot of space so that you can alter your photographs if you need to. Here we'll add this one right about here. Okay, so I need to add my tags down. So I added this one first. And then the little round one. Okay, so now I'm going to add my title. So, and I'm going to start backwards. And you can also use your ruler for this if you want to, but you don't have to. Okay, so I'm going to go backwards. And look at that. My word is going to be a semi-different color today. So that's okay. So my to and my fun are backwards. So you'll get to see two different versions. It's actually hard to see the adhesive sheets with all the lights on in my office. So we're gonna go this route. There we go. So we're going to go fun. And you can see, or probably not, but I'm not pushing my word down until I know that it's in the right spot. I think I just had a little piece, there we go, that didn't cut. So here we go. So I'm just kind of tapping the bottom of my letters down. So that if I need to move them a little bit, I can. Okay. So really, I'm kind of connecting everything here in this area so that it's connected. So, right, these are on the same line, hopefully. There we go. Okay, and as long as you're like happy with your placement, then you can tap it down. Okay, so I can move those out of my way. Oh, I dropped them on the ground, so I have to pick it up or it'll drive me crazy. Okay, so now I have passport. Okay, so I'm going to move my ruler up so I know it's straight. And when I put my ruler on the edge of my page, right, then I know I'm also straight. So it is probably right about here. And I'm going to spell backwards. Let's just hope that I have all my letters. And I'm going to follow backwards here and we'll see what happens. Don't ask me to spell backwards on a normal day. But when I have something that I can watch or look at and spell backwards, we're good. Okay, so, and if I get out of order, you guys yell at me before I press them down too hard. I'm doing the same thing though. You can, I don't know if you can see, but my T is still lifted up because if I'm not happy with my spacing, if I'm just tapping down the very bottom of the letter, then I can move it, right? So I don't know if you could see, but the adhesive sheet is just now nicely on the back, and I don't have to worry about getting glue on a skinny letter, especially on camera if I can't even get my adhesive backing off sometimes. There we go. Okay. Oh, and look at that. I actually have all the letters. That's good. So 2 S's. One S. And my second S. That was just a piece of paper that fell on the floor. We're all good. Hopefully it's not one of my pieces of paper for the other side, but I don't think so. Okay. So my spacing is slightly different, but that's okay. Okay, A and P, last letter. And I don't think we're spelling anything on the other side, so that's good. Because it is a lot of pressure to also spell backwards on camera, like I said. And no, I would never have spelled something backwards on camera. Okay, so I'm happy about the placement, even though it's slightly different. That's okay. So, but make sure to actually push them down. Okay. So let's move that out of the way, that out of the way. So you'll notice also I used the twine, and I tried to use the twine in 3 different ways, like one on each of my layouts, differently on each of my layouts. There we go. That's the wording I'm looking for. And on this one, I picked a different color for each little cluster of embellishments on my layout. So I have green over here. We're going to do the blue for up here. So I have a piece of twine that is approximately the same as my page. So about 12 inches. You can do a little bit more, a little bit less. It's totally up to you. Okay, and then to make my little messy cluster or messy bundle, I'm just wrapping it around my fingers, and then you can like adjust it how you would like just by playing with it. Okay, so there I have it like that. And now I'm just going to tap it onto my glue dot, and then I can just literally pick it up and put it into my little spot where I want it. So I already did the other 2, so you didn't have to watch me do that again. So like I said, that is an example of some things I will do each time, and then some things you don't need to watch again and again. Okay, so for here, we also need a passport and an umbrella. So I rough cut those out first, and same thing, I'm just fussy cutting them out. And you don't have to add them if you don't want to. but I did not, I thought that they weren't bad to fussy cut. I've cut out way worse things. And like I said, they were just too cute not to use. And so I'm just trying to keep my white border approximately the same all the way around. Okay, so here's our little umbrella for the bottom. And then we have the little passport. And then we get to add puffy stickers. Okay, and who does not love puffy stickers? I think that they must be like nostalgic for me. They must, like, I had like one, I grew up in that grouping that like you collected stickers, you put them in like a photo, you know, those old magnetic photo albums where you peeled back the pages and you stuck your stickers down onto them. I don't know how we ever got them off, but that's how we collected them. And I remember puffy stickers. So I loved seeing the puffy stickers for this. Okay, and I'm actually going to pop that up on dimensional. I'm also going to really quickly fussy cut out my green suitcase. I do believe that for the other side, I fussy cut out. Sorry, I need to move some stuff off my screen so I can actually see what people are saying here. Because it won't populate it into my, and there we go, my mouse is on my glass mat. It will not populate it into the software when you are live in a group. Okay. There we go. Ah, see, Rhonda had stickers too. So did Alicia. Totally. And it was funny. I totally remember those, like those old photo albums that were scratch and sniff stickers. I remember those too. So when I first started scrapbooking 20 years ago also, there was not a ton of stickers on the market, and you had to buy like little tiny strips of stickers. So I love that we're starting to see more sticker selection with Snappin' Up, and that, but I will also say, I love these, right? Like there's always kind of like one great sheet that you can either like use a die for or fussy cut to embellish with. So, and it doesn't have to be perfect. I'm just going to say, it doesn't also have to be perfect. It is going to be underneath a page protector. Who is going to notice if you are not perfect at cutting when it's in your album? Nobody. And like I said, I'm going to tell the funny story about my sister and I FaceTiming our kids from Stonehenge in my journaling. Not, oh my goodness, look, I cut off that. The handle is crookedly cut for my suitcase on my scrapbooking page. It's about the story, the fun we had. And actually it was funny because I did actually send my sister a message and say, are you okay if I use our photographs from our trip in the class? And she's like, oh my God, well, for starters, I love those photos. They're hilarious because it totally brings back standing up there calling the kids in like this crazy windstorm. Okay, so we're going to finish the top cluster first. Like I said, I'm going to use some dimensionals, and I have my puppy stickers. So if you're not seeing the puppy stickers yet, here they are. I'm assuming we'll all use them in a variety of different ways, and I did try. I should move my mouse out of the way though. I tried to add them all over the place because I loved them. So we are going to add up here. First, I have the little orange postage stamp. We're going to add right here. And it's puffy in all its glory. Then I'm going to add my little umbrella, and I'm going to add it flat. And so also you'll notice when I start teaching and I'm starting like whipping adhesive all over the place, I'm going to put down the little silicone mat so that I don't end up with adhesive someplace that I don't want it. Okay, so my little umbrella is on the bottom, And then, there they are, my dimensionals. I'm going to add a dimensional to the back of my passport. Here we go. And tuck that in. Okay, we're almost finished. We've got 3 little arrows up here. So I have a blue one. Okay, I'm going to start it back again. So I have my black one, my green one, and my blue one. And I can just move that a little bit, right? Because you can see my spacing is slightly different, but they still fit. Okay. So we have everything for the top there. We just have to build this last bottom cluster. Okay, so we have the tag there already. I'm going to use the green twine. And so it's already got the glue dot on it. I'm going to add dimensionals to my suitcase. So, and the fun thing, because there's twine and puffy stickers and then cardstock and paper, you're getting all sorts of different textures on your page. It's not just reading like all flat. There's a, like, because the texture of the twine is different than the puffy sticker, which is different than the cardstock. Okay, so I've got my suitcase down here. And my little geotag, puffy geotag down here on the bottom. And then one of the arrows right there. Okay, so left-hand page done. And okay, I just need to move some stuff so we can get the other page down. Okay, so now this page is done with photographs on it. Everything is stuck down. That's my test, right? If I lift it up and everything's stuck down. So now we're going to do the other page. Okay, so we're going to do this side. And now, like, my pieces all went flying, but that's okay. We're gonna make it happen. All good. Okay. So I'm gonna move this one out of the way, and then at the end I will bring them back together, and you'll see the 2 pages with the photos on them together. Okay. So here we go. Here is our blank background again. Same thing. We have our wavy paper, which I don't think I showed you the back. On the other side is the keys and with the tassels and stuff on them. Okay, and then I have this piece, which is, this is the piece that I fussy cut those pieces out of. That's going over there. This is our extra piece from when I messed up. Here's our pink plaid piece. Okay, this is backwards. Pink plaid. Then we've got this piece, and this piece. Okay, so we're like putting a puzzle back together, right? So I'm going to add my background, and then we're going to do the stuff we have to do here, right? So same thing. I will grab my ruler. And this is the outside because it's your right-hand page. And because the border is the same, you could start either way because we've got the same border going each way. And top and bottom, right? So it's 1/2 inch on all sides. That's why I said if you wanted to just have one piece of paper in your background, you could just have an 11 by 11 piece of paper. Okay, my nut job of a dog is probably going to come running in here in a second. So it's funny because always before I go live, I let them outside and then I close the curtains, especially at this time of day because it is like the dog walking time of day. And I do have one barker. But so I closed all the curtains so he thinks it's nighttime. But if he starts to bark, I do apologize because then probably your dogs will start to bark too in the background. But I can then hear my other dog rolling around on the carpet being a goofball. Okay, so then same thing. So also you'll see that I added, right, the black onto both sides of the layout. So there's a little bit of everything on the left page is also then I'm repeating on the right. So it doesn't have to be like exactly the same, but I want like a little taste of all of those elements on both sides. Just to kind of bring the two pages together. Okay, there we go. We had the right pieces of paper for this side. So I still actually have to find our missing piece of paper, but that's okay. It's somewhere. Okay. So here are our other parts. So this was one of the journaling boxes, and I love grid paper also, probably because I like things straight, right? All of those fun things. So I decided this one I actually cut in half. So you'll actually see it on the other half on another layout later. But we're going to stamp it with one of the stamps from the set. And this says, "Today marks an adventure." So I'm going to stamp that. We're going to try and move some stuff out of my way so that I can actually slide my glass mat over. Ta-da. Well, now see, that's why I don't, this is why I don't leave it on camera, but that's okay. I want it to stamp with. Okay, so I have my stamp and my little journal. So don't think that just because it's a journaling box that you've cut apart that you have to actually leave it just that way. You can add to them, jazz them up. You're going to see too, right? Like this one is different than this one, right? So even though this is cute, I'm going to make it cuter, right? So I'm going to add a suitcase, add an umbrella. We're going to add a passport at the top, and we're adding stamping. So today marks an adventure, and it was an adventure. It was like I'm sure we laughed so hard because we were so tired, but it was an adventure. Traveling with my mom and sister was an adventure, as I'm sure they'll tell you when they come on and watch the video also. Okay, so I'm just going to set that right there to dry. Okay, so, oh, I wanted to show you this too. Okay, so when I said I used all the tags, I used all the tags. And so, for example, here, I had cut off a piece. It's on another layout. And I had these two partial tags. And I thought, well, I'm just going to use them. I really like them. They're cute. So even though I don't have the bottom part of the tag, because I tuck it underneath, I'm still going to use it. And like, it's not that we would ever waste paper, but it's still, I'm using the cute part of it, and you would never know that I don't have a full tag here. So I'm just going to fussy cut these out. And I left them together on purpose so that you could see that you can use everything. Right? And so even though this is the full tag, I still tucked it underneath to make it the same as other tags. Kelly, I'm glad. Kelly says, I love this. I'm sure that it probably comes across whenever I talk, but I really do love scrapbooking. I love all the things about it. Even though I say I've been scrapbooking for 20 years, I was actually a scrapbooker before I really knew it was a thing. Even when we were kids, and talking about like the magnetic albums that we used to put like the stickers in. My parents obviously had magnetic albums that they kept their photographs in, and I would always add like little pieces of paper with like notes, even when I was really young, so that like things like where they were or the date or all of those kind of things, right? So I always say I was a scrapbooker before I even knew it was a thing. Okay, so now I just want to cover up there we go. Now we have all the parts and pieces for this layer. Okay, so right, we have our 4x6. So this is an example, right? I already matted it because you saw me mat it once. You don't need to see me mat it again, right? I already fussy cut out my little pieces because you saw me do it on the other side. So on this page, right, I have my little tags that we're going to tuck behind our journaling box. I have a couple of fussy cut pieces for up there. So I'm going to add my photo first, but I'm just kind of like roughing in my spots. This is going down here. And like I said, we're going to make it even cuter, right? We're going to tuck these tags in. And see, you can't even tell they're not whole. And I still got them in. I still would use them. Okay, this is our suitcases going over here. We have twine for there. I have my little umbrella. But the first thing I'm going to add is my bottom photograph to kind of set my scene. Okay, so I have my Stonehenge photo that we're going to add at the bottom. And it looks like it's about an inch. Okay, here. Okay. I can literally, you guys, have 6 tape runners or whatever on my desk and not be able to find one of them, even though they're right in front of me. So I will add my photo first. About there. I'll add my 4x6 photo. Okay, apparently I have lost the photos of my sister. Oh, maybe that's what slid off. You guys, I showed them to you, so I know they're here. Oh, here she is. My puffy stickers are over there too. You would think, like, I'm going to tell you, my office is not very big. So the funny part is that I could actually lose things here. They're literally, typically everything is within arm reach away from me. So, okay. So if I want to, I can also make sure my photographs are straight at the top by just laying down my ruler. Right, so here's another just handy use. Okay, my little and I don't know that this is exactly the same, but this is the spacing I like for this one. Okay, right there. Okay, so the last thing we have to do is just build our little cluster here at the bottom. Okay, so I'm also going to show you a little trick here that we can do so we can hide our tags. So the same thing, my little silicone mat here. Okay, I'm going to flip this over. I'm going to add my adhesive to the top. Okay, so this part is sticky. Okay, so you can see my tags, right? So I can space them nicely by adding them to the adhesive first. Okay, and I'm not pressing them crazy hard down. Pressing them down crazy hard. I'm just kind of tapping them into the adhesive, right? So the adhesive is just across the top, but they're now all stuck down, and then I can add this whole piece together to my layout. Okay, and so now, there we go. I can add my backpack up here. My passport I'll add on a dimensional. So just on the back, right? Tap it down. Okay, so same thing here. We're building the same, right? So I had twine in each of the clusters on the other side. So we're going to add our twine here. But I just want to put my suitcase down so I know approximately where to add it so that it'll hide. It'll be like come out from my suitcase, right? And then I have the little passport that we'll put up here. I'm going to add my umbrella so that it's not in my hand anymore. So I have my little umbrella here. So like I said, the things I put on the left-hand page, I brought them over onto the right-hand page. Okay, so here's my other piece of twine. Now I can just move my suitcase out of the way, tap it down. I did add the suitcase on dimensionals. You guys, we're in like the home stretch. We just have the puffy stickers left to go. And I promise we will not be this long going next time, right? Because I did do the intro. So it is a running joke that I can basically teach almost anything in an hour. So, but this was the first one. So maybe the middle one I can teach in an hour. It must just be, it's actually funny. It must just be something about the cadence of the way I teach. Okay, so we have our little suitcase here. And we need a dimensional for our passport. And then all we have left are our puffy stickers. So we have just the paper airplanes to add. Okay, so I used a green one here and a red one. And so too, you'll see quite often if you look really carefully, even when I play with embellishments, I kind of try and make sure that all the colors are represented on both sides, that like I just don't have one pink embellishment and that's it on the layout, that it kind of has like another spot. It doesn't have to be the same. It doesn't have to be like another green airplane, but there's something else green on both sides. Okay, so there you go. I'm done, you guys. Okay, so here we go. Here is our right-hand page with the pictures on them. I'm going to bring them back together so you can see them together, because I do also think that makes a difference. At the end, I will actually put my face back on the camera. Here, I'll move that into the middle. There we go. Okay, so here we are. we are finished. Okay, so I'm just going to really quickly go over some of the things here. Okay, so you can use a journal block for more than a journal block. You can use it for your title. Have fun by looking for embellishments and things to match your scrapbooking pages. They don't necessarily always have to be a sticker, right? So we cut apart the tags. We did some fussy cutting, which I think turned out super cute. We've got a variety of textures on the layout, right? So we've got the twine, the puffy sticker, some paper, cardstock, the photographs even, right? I added the black to kind of give your eye a couple of resting spots. And that is also why on this layout in particular, I double matted my photographs, right? So this black is also picked up back on the double mats of my photos. This is my sister and I in Stonehenge. Okay, so one moment though, I just need to turn down a few lights because it will totally blow me out. And like I said, if you guys have questions, because when you stream to a page, I can normally see them right over there in my comments and reactions, and I can't see them. So I do have them pulled up. Every once in a while, they do stop though, just so you know. But I'm glad you guys were all here today. Thank you. Thanks. If you have any questions, really, feel free to ask. I will come back and I'll go through the comments as we go. Like I said at the very beginning during the welcome, we will have a place for you to post your versions of whatever inspiration you pull from our classes. Thanks, Shelley. Whether it's like a simplified version, whether you go over the top with your version or you hang out somewhere in the middle. We want to see your pages. Like I said, there will be a place for them and we'll let you know where that's going to be. And really, like I said, also the reason that we picked 90 days, the reason that it's not like just like, I'm sure you've heard of like a sprint challenge, right? So they're like super quick, but it's almost like too fast and overwhelming sometimes. So we decided to like spread it out. You guys have lots of time to listen to all of us, whether maybe we'll eventually put you to sleep, but I hope not. And like I said, each class is just kind of to give you a little bit of inspiration to do something else or put a couple photos on a 12 by 12 piece of paper and write your story. So thank you very much for joining me today. We appreciate every single person being here. If you know anybody also that might be interested, make sure to invite them to the group, share the page. We're happy to have everybody here with us. Okay, guys, we'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.